So what draws me, it was like a casuality, first of all, because I was like a teenager. I was already in theater and in drama field, and I was interested in performing arts. That's all. So when I saw Indian classical dance, there was an Indian cultural center in my city. When I saw
Uh-huh.
these performances, I got very interested because I saw that everything was there, no, like theater, drama, music, poetry, dance, of course. So I thought it was a very complete art form. So I started learning, never thinking that I would have ended up like now only doing Bharatanatyam. So I started like really for just a curiosity, I would say. And then I started studying Indian culture at university. I'm graduated in Indology. So I started being like going deeper and deeper. And as you go deeper, then you get also so much. I mean, you can see that is an ocean of knowledge. So then you becomes more thirsty. So it was something mostly related to a fascination that people got from generally about India, and then specifically about Indian classical dance. So I believe that I belong to a second generation, I would say, because the first generation were the pioneers. I started with them. I started with studying with them, with the pioneers. Then the second generation of my around my age, which started after 10 years, I would say, after them,
Mhm.
after the pioneers, we went little bit, I mean, we had the chance to go closer in the sense that we lived in, I mean, I lived in India, and I'm still keeping coming and going, and lots of Indians are starting coming, lots of artists coming to Italy. So the exchange was better. So now
Mhm.
it's growing, but it's still very new. So people, for example, Italians, they are very interested, but at very superficial level, in the sense superficial without any negative connotation. It's just because they don't know much. So whatever you present, this is the greatness and the badness of the situation, because whenever they see someone dressed like in Bharatanatyam or whatever classical dance, they can't make out if it's good or not,
Mhm.
because just that, and the language is so different.
Mhm.
So the scenario is like that. It's there is interest.
You mentioned about the school. Can you tell me more about it?
When I
Mhm.
was living in India, Lakshman Sir, my guru, started giving me some Indian students. So I started teaching in India first. And he taught me how to teach also, which is a very big thing. Anyhow,
Mhm.
then when I went back to Italy, I studied 1 year with a scholarship in India. For 1 year, I was here. After that, I did my debut performance. And then I went back to Italy. When I went back to Italy, Lakshman sir came to my house for 10 days. He gave a workshop of 1 week and the lecture demonstration at university, which was like one of the main, uh, how do you say, episode of my life. And from that day, he started actually my classes. So
Oh,
he
nice.
kind of inaugurated my classes. So from that day, that was like 10 years ago. So I started my school, let's say, it's my classes that slowly became a project that it's called Academia Sangam, which is Sangam Academy.
Il percorso è diverso.
Great.
Noi in Occidente partiamo da quello che sappiamo quello che vogliamo raccontare e cerchiamo una forma per esprimerlo. Mentre in generale in Oriente c'è una forma fissata per esprimere una cosa che è già stata codificata. Io la devo lavorare finché non diventa automatica, finché non diventa anche autentica, perché diventa spontanea, quindi il percorso è più quasi l'inverso, da fuori verso dentro anziché dentro verso fuori.
So great, one of the most important person in my life, Adayar Lakshman Sir. And I have many memories. Of course, if I just have to open my eyes suddenly, of course, my debut performance, it was for me so important. And I understood later on whatever he did for me. I never understood while I was with him so much that later I understood. So he organized this debut performance. I was already not a young girl. So, we thought it's not nice to do like an Arangetram type, which is looking a little bit awkward to this situation. So he thought, let's do a debut performance and we will do in Kapalishwara. So he wrote a letter in Tamil, and I even have, I think, the picture with him while he was writing this letter and all. So he organized this one. He conducted the debut performance. He organized everything, the backdrop, the music. I didn't understand that he organized all this. So for me, that one was one of the most important moment of our life together. In the class, maybe people were coming and watching, attending the class or whatever, and they would talk in Tamil with him, not knowing that I understand Tamil.
Yes, you do.
So
yes,
they
you
will
do.
say, yes, I can even read and write very slow, but I can. So what
Brilliant.
happened? They used to tell him, oh, you have a foreigners. So he will say in Tamil, foreigner, yaar, he'll say, who? She. Leave it, she's more Indian than you, he will say. Or sometimes when they were doubting, no, okay, the reaction of for a foreigners, so it's double reaction. You can have people which is like praising you for nothing, like you do a mudra, so good, and say, okay, I can do much more than a mudra. And that is it's not a good thing when people is praising like this stupidly. So it's not a good thing. Or people which are opposite. Okay, she's a foreign, she will never get chance. No chance. No, she will never get something like that. So he will always tell them, that's all. Watch it. For sure, also the last days of his life, I was blessed enough in my life to be with him till the last day. So because I understood that he was very unwell, I was not, when I understood in May that he was so unwell, I decided to come suddenly to India in July, and he passed away in August 2014, this was. So from when I came July till the day he passed away, till the day before, because then he went to hospital and he passed away, I was with him. And that's also something unbelievable for me, because I could hear his last words, for example, because he stopped talking at one point. So I heard his last words. I saw his last looks, and I hold his hands till the last day. That's how do you say, priceless.
Yeah. I mean, thank you for sharing that. Those are some of the most cherished memories for sure for you.
That in foreigners country, the students are less ready to learn, in one sense, in the sense that I don't know, it's the system, it's different. So there is too much thoughts, too much thinking. So I remember one Kathakali artist who used to come to Europe very often, and once I organized for him one workshop that was for actors, theater actors. So they asked him, what's the difference between teaching to an Indian or an Italian or a Westerns? And then he said, there is nothing, not much, only one difference. that in West, everyone will ask me always why. Why? Why? There's no why. You do this, why? That's the mentality of having always clear everything in mind, while the body has its own intelligence. So let the body go in, and then the mind automatically will understand why you have to do. You don't have to ask, to argue ever. Doesn't mean that that's the Western mentality, which is not correct, always judging and thinking that uh, if the student is not questioning, then it doesn't, how do you say, he's only accepting without any awareness. It's not true. It's not true. It's a different awareness. In East, there is still, and especially in India, so much body concern and body awareness. So we give respect to the body and let the body understand before the mind. So as even I heard recently, even Mavin Anna saying the same thing, that and I used to say in my class very often, it's the characters which makes you a good student or not. It's not the skills. You can be a mediocre, average dancer, but if you are willing and understanding and openly surrounding to the teacher and trying to understand, you will be growing like exponentially. If you are the character, it's so harsh, and then you want to understand, then you always argue, then you spend so much time on arguing, on answering on this, and then you will not learn much. That's the main difference between the students and teaching. As I said before, for the audience, it depends. So the few Indians which are there in Italy, I said before, they are mostly not Rasika, in the sense that they are like not much also interested in maybe in classical art form, because they belong to other cultures, to other states of India, or because there is also mentality in Indian population. Very often there is this mentality of thinking that classical arts are boring. So of course are much more fun and easier Bollywood or whatever. So there is this thing. So it's not easy as an audience there. So the challenge for me has been always, I always say that I have a double mission. So it's to make understand Italians or Westerns about Indian culture, because also what they learn about Indian culture, it's coming through the media, which is sometimes so, media will show only the bad part of India. So I'm like fighting daily to make them understand how beautiful is India and Indian culture, because sometimes it's very difficult. It's not their problem. It's problem of what they get from media. So this is one mission, and the mission for Indians is to remind Indians how beautiful is your culture. So it's to tell Italians how beautiful it is Indian culture, and to remind Indians you have a beautiful culture. So please keep on and hold like a precious gem that you have in your hands.
Oh
so
man, that's beautiful.
And this is the challenge, and also the
yes. That's amazing. It's amazing what you're doing. How was it growing up in Italy with your Indian affinity, and then spending time in India with your Italian identity? What can you talk to us about? Some of your experiences.
I can say only confusion.
Yeah,
it's really a confusion. I also sometimes, I was listening recently to one philosopher, Italian philosopher, very good, very great philosopher, that the identity that we'll get from others. So when we are child, from mother or from parents, then it's that they are giving us identity. So if I would say like this way, in Italy, actually, I mean, even more Indian. The sentence that I keep hearing is, she's more Indian than Italian. This is the sentence that everyone will say. And Lakshman Sir used to say, of course, previous life she was Indian. So, and it was not a guess or something or a hypothesis. No, it was confirmed. For
sure.
him, it was like that. For sure. And what can I say? When I was at the beginning, I used to come here. There were not so many foreigners here and there. Now maybe a little bit more, and there are more people that are mixed. So at the beginning, when I was here, when they see me, especially in sari or especially in costume, they thought, so your father is Indian, right? Are we because of blue eyes? Oh, it's from Kashmir. No, no.
Oh.
So who is Indian? So, or your grandfather. Then they go back until the previous life. On previous life, I can't say no because who knows? So it's okay. Might be like that. So coming back to identity, in Italy, they see me like an Indian somehow, or someone which is like, yes, if they think of India, they call me. I'm keeping like I'm like becoming an incredible India office almost, because whoever wants to come to India will call me, will write me, will come and talk to me and all these things. Nice. And even among the Indians community, which I'm inside because I work with the Indian consulate in Milan. So I can't explain these things. It's still confusing. And also I don't neglect that I'm not Italian at all because I only embrace Indian culture or whatever. I feel I'm exactly in between the two, and I have the two, and I'm constantly understanding the best. I try to hold the best of both the culture. I feel like, when people now there are so many people which are mixed culture because maybe parents, one is from here, one's from there. I feel like one of these people which is mixed people. So then you have to balance between the culture. But the best part of this people, it's that you have to take the best. If you take the best of two, and then it's mathematically it's a good thing, no, right?
Nice.
So I try to balance between the two things. I don't neglect both the sides. I love both culture, and I like more something here and something there. I will never say here it's better forever, there is better forever.
Do you ever have this internal battle, choosing between the two countries? Do you ever face that kind of moment where you have
Yes,
this?
I have. I always have. I like also to be there. I like, many things which are in Italy so beautiful. First, the country is very beautiful country. Italy, it's very beautiful country. Then there are so many interesting things for theater, for example, for me. And of course, there is my family, my nieces, my students, which I love them and and it has, during this 10 years of Sangam, has created some beautiful space. Everybody knows Sangam and has grown so well that I will never give up like this. It's like, for me, it's a child. Sangam is my child. And also it's my duty, with respect that I have to my gurus, that I have to continue their lineage. I really feel that I'm just an instrument. I feel an empty bottle. Then having had such great gurus, and having today yet some great gurus and passing through my students. So I'm just the bottle, the empty bottle, that's all. I'm nothing, believe me. I'm not saying for modesty, but I really believe that. Whatever I'm saying to you also now, it's my gurus. It's not me, really me. I just use my body and my voice because of their knowledge, and I try to pass to them. So I will never give up that. But I tell you, I would prefer, that's for sure, I would prefer to say more here and little less there. Yeah. Because I feel very much connected with the life, I don't know, there is something which, and of course, if you choose Bharatanatyam in your life or any Indian classical dance form, means that you are a little crazy, and means that you have a little bit of not being in comfortable zone. Because if you want to be in comfortable zone, you don't choose one of this art form, any classical art form in the world.
So you mentioned that you have background in theater as well.
Yes.
How do you strike a balance between your dance and theater?
Yes. So at the beginning, I tried to balance because I never thought that dance would have been my main pet and all. I thought at the beginning that I would do theater And then this Indian dance form is very theatrical, no? So then it will be like something which is adding something more to my theater journey. Then slowly took over Bharatanatyam and theater went side. And then I had to give up theater almost completely because for me, it's not possible to do two paths so deeply contemporary. I think that at one point one has to choose, and it's better to choose. Otherwise, something will be missing always from one side to another side. And also sometimes it was not difficult. I mean, I didn't like in theater one thing. As an actress, you cannot choose what to do, right? And the role that I've been asked always to play were so boring, and you have to give all yourself. So, to give all yourself to something which you don't believe in it, it's very difficult, very difficult. While in Bharatanatyam, anyhow, you can always interpret your way. You can say even in theater, but in theater is difficult because the director will give an impact which is not in your hands. While in Bharatanatyam, you are a soloist, you are alone on stage and you can decide. And also, I was like too much resonating with the stories, with the mythology, and with everything it was in Bharatanatyam. And anyhow, because I didn't study Bharatanatyam when I was 5, I started much later. So I had to recover that time. So I couldn't do two things contemporary. I had to do Bharatanatyam and only that. So that's why I left a bit theater. I only keep one thing about theater, which is teaching once in a while, because I like teaching theater. And sometimes I also have given some workshop in India too. And I've given also to dance a workshop from theater, because the art form are connected. Yes. And in Italy, I still keep one class in one secondary high school, which I love it because I love that teenager time between like 13, 14 and 18, 19, 18 mostly, this range. These people, I mean, in this school, I have a long association, and I used to still go because I like it very much. I like to, I get very much inspired by them, and I guess I'm inspiring them. So I really like that age, and I really love theater. It just I didn't resonate anymore at one point as an actress. So I had to give up, and I started doing only Bharatanatyam, which is also acting, but in another way.
I'm sure actually, that must have helped you too, right? The background of theater.
Yes, but there is a very funny story. My Abhinaya teacher specifically have been always Indira Kadambi. So at the beginning, she was very strong with me because she was saying, how come that you are not showing anything? You are coming from theater. Then we had this argue. I told her, see, in theater, it's a totally theater and drama field as Western has a totally different approach. So you have the story, you know what you want to portray. So the challenge is to find out the form, how you want to show it. While in Indian and Eastern dance form or theatre form, you have opposite. The shape is that you will move with Natyarambe, you will move this way, then this character will be like this will be male, this will be female. Now you have something very codified. So the shape and form is there. And the journey is to be truthful and authentic in that form. So while in West, it's almost from inside to outside. In East, it's from outside to inside, if you want to see. Both are fine. Both has the same scope, which is same goal, which is like to create rasa in the audience. But, at the beginning was so funny with her. Actually, I cried so many times for her class because she was like, if I was giving more feeling, I will lose the mudra. I was telling her, no, it's we in theater, we don't have this fixed expression. We will never do like this to say something is beautiful. Oh, this is beautiful. We will never do this. So we don't have this codified expression and codified language of hands, which has to be also very natural. Oh, big influences, of course. First of all, my teachers, apart from Lakshman Sir, Sharma Sir is my music teacher and nattuvangam, And he was amazing man, and he was very supportive. He used to come for program and all. That's very helpful.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned from them also something which is very important, that Lakshman Sir used to say there are no good or bad styles, there are good or bad dancers, and he will try to show me whatever good is in every dancer.
Mm-hmm.
Lakshman Sir used to send student, maybe Nana can confirm it, he used to send student for like, for this Hadavu you go to that teacher because she does it so well, and then you learn from that, this open mind. So
Oh, wow.
yes, I watched so much. I attended so many performances. And so me big influences have been, of course, these teachers. And then Leela Samson. Leela Ka has been, now she's my main mentor. But as also an artist, I admire her so much. And now only I realize why. Because you sometimes you admire, but what does it mean? She's the epitome of elegance, of beauty, or whatever. But why? Recently, while listening some conferences, I've been thinking about the concept of harmony, which was in the Greek time. Harmony was something which was related to a measure. No,
Mm-hmm.
when something is inside a measure, should be in a, and it's also what we call in India the auchityam, like
Mm-hmm.
appropriateness, something relate to that. And she has that capacity of being in that frame, then becomes so much grace and so much elegance, and also so much thinking behind that. I love that. Of course, Mavinko, because it's Lakshman Sir disciple, which is also gone to me, and I've been put in his hands actually directly from Sir, for sure. Then for sure Chandrasekhar Sir, who also collected me after passing away, Lakshman Sir. And then lovely dancers which I admire, and like Malavika Sarukai, that it's I love her, and I love so many for different reasons. Priyadarshini Govind I love for some reason, and I also had attend some workshop with her, and attend also some workshop even with Malaka. And then I love Valli for other reasons. All this generation, I think it was such a great generation that I love. I love all of them for this different reason. And of course, among the young generation, Ranjit and Vijna, which are like my uh, soulmate, brother and sister, and also visiting teachers in my school. And I feel that they are in a very great journey of art form, and they've been also great inspiration. So I always refer to them also for my dance and everything. So these are mostly, roughly. But I can take inspiration also from outside Bharatanatyam for Bharatanatyam. This year I got the chance to watch live Kalamandalam Gopi, which was like one of my
Yes.
hero. I cried when I saw him, because for me, oh my God, it's like a hero that it's on in all books of Kathakali. He was there with this nose, sharp nose, which I love it. So when I met him, it was like, that's also inspiring me. All these masters from Sujata Mohapatra for Odissi, for example, which I love her, and I attended also one workshop with her just for because I think that you can we have to be like a sponge and trying to really suck from everyone the best, and then mold in our way and transform it to enrich our journey. As a dancer, what I'm trying to understand is to find my own dance, means my own voice, which is not an easy one, because especially in a codified dance form like Bharatanatyam, that you have like a structured repertoire, that you have some structured topics, you have some fixed items and all these things. And then you spend years and years. Now I'm 20 years in Bharatanatyam, no? You spend years and years to try to get at least to aim to the perfection of that art form, right? That it's the But while after sometimes you need to find your own voice, and so this is a very tricky thing, but I'm trying to see also what this story, what this dance form gives to me, and gives to this nowadays contemporary scenario. So for example, last December, I performed for Trinity Arts Festival in Chennai, and I tried to do one new Sanchari inside a very traditional Varnam, Lakshman Sir Varnam, Pakka with the traditional lines and all. There is this Tamadam line, which is like don't delay in coming and showing your face. I tried to do my story. So I'm start saying I'm coming from so far away. I cross the ocean. I'm coming to you to see you. Then when I reach your place, for you know that we can't enter in some garbhagriha in some temples, right? We means non-Hindu. How you define it's Hindu? We don't know. Yeah. So in that line, I'm questioning God. Like, so Shiva, tell me why? It's because I'm white, because I have different eyes, different this and that. And then I related to the story of Nandana's story, that like that man that you only ask the Nandi to move in order to he could see you, right? Why don't you do something to me? So this one was for me a very important moment where I could express also something which is really related to me and something which is really touching. I'll have my relationship with my God. I don't need, I mean, with God, I don't need also you to tell me if I can or not can. And I don't need even to see because I can feel it. So there's no point. And the best I learned from Indian stuff, it's that the best condition of love, it's the viraha, right? It's when you are separate. That's why better to be separate and to feel the love. That's all. And it's the same thing that I'm using when I'm in Italy and I miss India. I feel okay, I'm in Viraha with India. That's all. So
I never anticipated that context. You really surprised me there.
That's a funny story. So this is my journey as an artist. As a teacher, I would love to continue with the teaching as better as I can. Of course, if I could get, we never have, in Italy, we don't have something which is very beautiful here, that you have lots of support from private supports, from people, from foundations and all. In Italy, it's very rarely, it's very difficult. So if I could have had any support to establish the school better, I mean, in order, for example, to have class every day, for example. So this is my wishes. And also to have a branch in India of Sangam. That is also there, and it's something which are cooking. It's on the process. Somewhere it will happen one day.
Very nice, very nice. Do that.
You want me? I do?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do.
And then you can talk
So,
about what it means to the audience.
1 second.
Very nice. Do you wanna talk about it?
Yeah, I don't know if it's, I hope it's understanding, but my feeling is like that, like the ocean is the life which you are going through. And I feel like in a boat, sometimes I have to go under the current with even the very difficult situations, like when you are in a storm, but you have to still uh,
Keep
taking
steering the
your,
boat. Yeah.
yes, exactly. So in, and sometimes you suddenly there is the sun, and I have in this, you can like relate to that and keep it your meditation time, your I feel I'm constantly in this things, but that is life. So anyhow the ocean will be there, anyhow whatever it's happening, also what we are facing now this time and all, but the life will go on. The nature doesn't care about us. Life it's going on. So I mean, you can only go with your boat, that's all. And trying to face both the situation, when it's sunny, when it's stormy, that's all.
Mhm.
And I'm like that. And also sometimes I'm little bit floating, no, between the two different emotions. Because of that, I'm not always so stable. I don't know how people can be like, I really admire people who has got that stability, and they know whatever they are going to do, whatever they are going to be. And I really admire in one sense.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel bored by them because I like more uncertainty in one sense, but not too much. So
Not
see.
too much. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. With that, we come.
Thank you, Renuka.
Sadly, we are coming to an end. I wish we could go on and talk more about your journey. Uh, but I really appreciate your time. I really appreciate sharing your thoughts, sharing your journey with us. Thank you so much for being part of Plano Garage Arts Project online series. We wish you good luck and be safe.
Thank you to you, and really thank for your project, because it's such a nice idea and so well done. I'm really pleased to be part of it and honored too. Thank you for asking me.